name's Lindsay, and I'm going to be doing my media assignment for my comm class. So in case you're not my professor, you might want to type something else into that search box up there because you'll be bored for the next 5 minutes. But let's get started. Part 1, in which I describe my personal experience in a day without media. Long story short, it didn't work. On Wednesday the 21st, I woke up at my grandparents' house and checked my phone that was charging next to me, automatic fail. And why? Because as one of many my age, we're no longer used to using an alarm clock. What is this ancient device you speak of? No, we use our cell phones so that in simultaneously awakening, we can also check to see if anyone else has contacted us in the last 8, be realistic here, we're in college, 3 hours we've been asleep. After getting up though, I decided I would try to make this media-free challenge once again and tried to continue on with my day. And as soon as I entered the kitchen, I was forced to avoid the television that was on. Success. As I went on with my day, however, I slowly started to forget, and as I heard the text message notification sound from my phone, I checked it once again. Fail. So I realized that the compulsion to pick up my phone at least every 30 minutes was inescapable. But I do pride myself in being able to dodge Facebook, Instagram, and a newspaper, which is pretty difficult, especially when your grandpa wants to talk to you about current events. What I'm trying to get out here is this 24-hour period was sadly way more difficult than I had expected it to be. All types of media can now take the form of a single 5-inch screen we hold in our hand, in a pocket, or in a purse all day long, aka the smartphone. Which brings us to part 2. In which I discuss the smartphone. First, we have the NFL mobile app. Equipped with scores, news standings, fantasy leagues, and live coverage of games, I don't have to go to multiple different media sources like a television, a newspaper, or an online website to see that the Cowboys epically fail. Instead, I get all of my disappointment off of one small space. Next, we have the email app. Now, I've received emails from my professors that say, "sent from my iPhone," and at the bottom of the message. Now, why is this important? I really don't need to know that you are probably in your car sitting in LA traffic and decided to respond to my email because you were bored and had nothing else better to do. But it is awesome that with today's technology, you were able to do that. Now the most used and abused app of them all, the Facebook app. Now, almost everyone's mother's, uncle's, cousin's, monkey's pet Pomeranian has a Facebook account. And if that Pomeranian has a smartphone, chances are they also have the Facebook application to go along with it. Having quick access to Facebook on your phone, the need to sit down at a computer, type in a web address, and enter your account information is eliminated because apparently for America, that's just too much effort nowadays. But in all seriousness, this immediate access to messages and updates comes in handy when you're on the go, not near a computer, and still need to relay some kind of important information, or share a picture of a cute dog you see hanging out of a car window. That's always good too. 3, in which I describe that media is all around us and affecting our everyday lives. Facebook. I check mine every day. I have it up pretty much all of the time. It's sad but true, and there are far worse people out there than myself. Natalie is down to hang, and Jazz is having a wonderful day. Great stuff. Our generation seems to feel a constant need to share every bit of our day with our friends and family, and let's be honest, when it's not being used to describe something trivial like a meal, Facebook is a great way to keep in touch, collaborate with groups, and document important parts of our lives we want to share with others. Instagram. Fairly new to the media world, Instagram is a way for people to share pictures with their friends and people they don't know of random things like food, themselves, or cute animals. This very addicting phone app helps people feel like they're photographers and share little pieces of their day at the same time. Lena, what photo filter should I use? Sutro or vintage? I want it to look like the coffee in my mug is steaming. News and advertising. Okay, really? Do I need to point out the obvious? News media and advertising are everywhere we go. When we're driving, when we're watching football, and even when we're using other forms of media. Big example, Facebook. Yes, it's back again. News, but especially advertising, has moved down from billboards and out of papers and television, and has come to plague social media sites as well. School projects. Hey Natalie, what you using over there?
Laptop.
Are you getting stuff from online?
Yes.
Are you talking to other classmates about it and are asking questions and are studying with them over your phone and or computer?
Yes.
Now, part 4, in which I reference people more important and smarter than myself, who also have PhDs, that like to talk about the effects of media. Now, media has been around for a long time, just seen in different forms. I mean, it had to start out as something simple before it grew into today's colossal web of interdependent parts, right? So, I found the oldest media article I could on JSTOR, minus the ones that weren't in English. So, this article, Media of Propaganda by Francis J. Brown, was published in 1937 and addresses the concept of nationalism and internationalism. And now I will read you an excerpt. Why then seek to analyze the agencies through which nationalism and internationalism are developed? The answer is implied in the above statement. The ideology is the direct product of the total environmental experience of the individual. The three media for the control of experience, which reaches the largest audience, are the press, the radio, and the motion picture. Their influence is based not alone upon their numerical importance, but is enhanced because of the fact that the individual is in a receptive state of mind, and since the learnings are indirect, the material is accepted for the most part uncritically. Basically, this is essentially telling us that even back in 1937, people were writing about the fact that media contributes to people in society's thoughts and views of the environment and their mindsets on nationalism and internationalism, huge concepts that influence their everyday lives and just based on whatever is put out in the press or on the radio and on these other media sites as well. Then I also found an article from 2008 by Soledad Liliana Escobar Chavez and Craig A. Anderson titled Media and Risky Behaviors, which discusses a possible connection between the average youth spending 1/3 of their day on some form of electronic media and, take a guess, risky behaviors that correlate with that media use. So, as far as articles are concerned, there are some that date back to these 1930s and there are others that are so much more recent, but all of them still talk about how this media usage is controlling and contributing to our actions in society today. From the lovely Comm professors of Comm Theory 203, there is the idea of self-disclosure. So with social media, society now deliberately reveals personal information about themselves much more readily than they would in a face-to-face situation. Behind one of the many screens we now have to choose from, we feel comfortable letting people we don't know see our pictures and updates in the hope to gain friends or likes, thus boosting our self-confidence whether or not the information we put out there is actually true. Finally, part 5, in which I close with some food for thought. Hope you're hungry! And I'll say that the world would be better off without advertisements promoting our consumer nature and capitalist ideals, or without people we went to high school with spamming our Facebook news feeds with pictures of what they ate for breakfast. But the truth is, we cannot function normally in today's society without media. If you're a Buddhist monk living out the rest of your life in seclusion in order to find enlightenment, then be my guest and own the fact that you can live your life without media. But for the rest of you out there not spending most of your time in meditation, digital, informational, and visual media are interacting with each other and influencing everything you see and do on a day-to-day basis. So embrace your dependence. This addiction isn't necessarily a bad one, just something that comes with the progression of society, like 3D movies and dog sweaters.